Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about how to build an amortization schedule. This is a useful skill not only for financial management, but for personal finance as well. This is how you build a schedule to show what your loan payments should be, how much it changes your principal balance, and all those kinds of things. So let's do this like I'm buying a vehicle. Let's say that I am looking to buy let's see, I take out a loan for a vehicle, and the interest rate is 6%. The term is 5 years, and I'm going to have monthly payments, and the loan amount is $25,000. Okay, so I did a different video on how to find a payment on my TVM calculator video. So if I'm gonna do this kind of quickly, but you can find one that says find annuity payments, and that would show you how to do this a little slower. So my annual interest rate is 6%. My number of periods, I'm gonna take my compounds per year times the number of years. My payment, I'm gonna look for. My present value is the initial value of the loan, $25,000. I want to pay the loan off, so it's going to be the future value is going to be 0 because I want it to be 0 at the end. We're going to make the assumption that we pay at the end like most do. So it's a type 0. Number of years is 5. Compounds per year is 12 because I'm making monthly payments. My interest rate per period is 6% divided by the number of compounds per year. So 0.5%. So to find my payment, this is the function we used last time, equals PMT. I take my rate, comma, my number of periods, comma, my present value, comma, future value, comma, and type, and then end my parentheses. Okay, so 483.32. 483.32. Now, how a loan works is that every time you make a payment, they multiply the interest times the balance, and the interest rate times the balance gives you how much of that payment is interest, and the remainder is principal. So first thing, I'm going to make this a positive number, so I don't have to worry about dealing with negative so much, but 43.32 is my payment. So my balance at the beginning of this period is 25,000 because I've not made a payment yet. My payment is 483.32. How much that is interest, I can calculate by taking the balance before my payment times the interest rate per period, which is 125. So 125 of this 483 is interest. The rest of it is principal. So how much is interest is 125. So if I subtract 483 minus 125, that means 358.32 is repayment of principal. So if my balance was 25,000 before this, and now I've paid 358.32 of it, then my ending balance is simply going to be 25,000 minus 358.32. So 25,000 minus 358.32. My ending balance after month 1 is the same as my beginning balance for the next month. So I can take my ending balance from the prior month. Now the interest payments are going to be calculated the same all the way down. So I'm going to take the beginning of the period balance times my interest rate, and I'm going to hit F4 on this, and that puts dollar signs around this. That way I can copy this down and it'll keep this same spot. That's called an absolute reference. And that absolute reference will make it so that no matter what I do, copy this over, down, wherever I want to copy it, it's going to maintain that, that reference to A11 because I want it to the whole way for that interest rate. So A11. Oh, actually, I need to move that. See, I'm going to move it to the interest amount. I put that in the wrong column. So if you saw me do that, I want that same formula I just did, but I wanted the interest. I made a mistake. Payment, I can just reference the above. And the repayment of principal, get on to repayment of principal is just the difference, the 483. Notice that the amount has gone down for interest, which makes sense because I'm taking the same interest rate times my new balance. My balance has gone down. So the amount that goes towards interest will always be reducing, and the amount that goes towards principal will always be increasing throughout the life of the loan. So now what I should be able to do is copy this all the way down and see, and it should, I just fill handled each one of these after I wrote them. And now you should see that this interest amount should always be going down, and it is. And by the time we get 3 years in, only $56 is going towards interest, and the remainder is going towards principal. And my repayment of principal should always be going up. And it should end, and actually it went further than I wanted it to, but you notice it hit 0 at 60 months, which is where it should hit 0. And at 60 months, my last payment, only $2.40 is actually the interest. So it's pretty much all principal then. So if I want to see how much I pay in interest, I can do two things. I can total this up until it's at 0 point right here. And it totals automatically for me $3,999.20. Or an even easier way is I can take the total number of payments, which is 60 times 438.32, because that's how much in cash I'm actually paying, and find the difference between that and the price of the car, because the difference would be all interest, and see that the total interest payments here was, for this particular problem, was $3,999.20. So that's an amortization schedule. And this, after you build, it's kind of nice. You can play around with what if I did 5% and 72 months instead. You can see what it does to the payment. You can see what it does to the interest. What if I say I want to buy a cheaper car and make it a $15,000 car? You see what it does to the payment. Whoops. I shouldn't have changed the periods. I want to do a 4-year loan instead, or a 3-year loan instead. 2-year loan. You can see that everything on my whole amortization changes, as does my total payments and my total interest every time I make a change here. So that's what an amortization schedule looks like.